Hello, church. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far. When you're going through something, sometimes you just need somebody to simply encourage you. Sometimes you need somebody to just be with you, hear you out, listen to you, kind of see what you're going through. And sometimes you need somebody just to help you kind of pick you up, get back on your feet, show you how it's done, show you what to do. In John chapter 11, Jesus shows us an example of this. Jesus shows us an example of ministering to people in this way. And he speaks to Martha and Mary. So we're going to read from verses 20 to 25 and verses 32 to 35. Starting at verse 20. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went out to meet him, but Mary stayed at home. Lord, Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now God will give you whatever you ask. Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. Martha answered, I know he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live even though they die. Skip to verse 32. When Mary reached the place where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and said, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come along with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. Where have you laid him? He asked. Come and see, Lord, they replied. Verse 35, Jesus wept. So here we have Lazarus is dead. Jesus came a little bit late according to them, and Martha ran out, greeted Jesus, and Mary also waited for Jesus to come to her, and they both asked the same question. Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But there was two different responses from Jesus. And this is what I want to talk about today. For Martha, he speaks. For Mary, he's speechless. He asks her, where is he? Right? For Martha, he teaches about his triumph. He's bold and he's confident. For Mary, he's deeply troubled and he breaks down. Martha, he confronts the flow of her heart and he says, I'm the resurrection and the life. Mary, he enters into the flow of her heart. Right? He knows that he'll turn the funeral into a feast. That's how he was talking to Martha. But for Mary, why didn't he just do the same thing? Why didn't he say the same thing to her and just say, just wait, your sorrow will turn to joy? All right? Why is John showing us this? First of all, because it happened. It's an actual account of Jesus and his life. And second of all, it shows us who Jesus is and what he came to do. He's the God-man. He's not just God. He's not just human. He's not just flesh and he's not just deity. He's God in the flesh, right? And so some people have a view of too much human over God when they think of Jesus, or too much God over human when they think of Jesus, right? He's both here. In this situation, he's in control with Martha, but then we have him weeping with Mary. He's both. And the thing that shows us his strength and how great it is how he did it voluntarily. Right? His greatness is shown by his weakness, and his weakness is shown by his greatness, and how he went about talking to both of them and what he did. He's exactly what we need, and he's exactly what Martha needed and exactly what Mary needed, even though it was different responses. He gives us a ministry of truth and a ministry of tears. For Martha, it was a ministry of truth, and for Mary, it's a ministry of tears, right? How he went into it. He gives us what we need. So whatever the circumstance, if you could think about your personal life, if you're going through something, or maybe you can think of something that you went through before, whatever the circumstance or situation is, God understands it, and he knows exactly what you need, even if you don't know it or believe it. Both Mary and Martha wanted Lazarus to be alive again, but before Jesus resurrected Lazarus, he ministered to them through truth and through tears, respectively. If you can reflect on yourself and around the people that you've been with and and how you've talked to people before, how are you to others? Do you overemphasize one over the other? Do you come when somebody is in need of just somebody to cry with, or somebody's in the need of somebody just to hear them out or listen to them? Do you come to them with just a checklist, even like a PowerPoint presentation? You show them step 1, step 2, step 3, or do you come with them where they need somebody to pick them back up and just kind of pull them out of the rut, and help them to just put one foot in front of the other, where in that case you just come there and you just cry and you offer none of that encouragement, right? How do you view yourself? What do you tend to lean towards to more? How can God use me to minister better? And in your family, in your children, in your siblings or at your friends? How can God use me to minister better to them, right? Because he takes a different approach. He's both at the same time. And so Jesus is exactly what we need, and he's never wrong. He's exactly what you need right now. And so if you think about it, right now, in the current circumstances that you're going through, he's exactly what you need. And it's just hard to believe that, for me personally, I would be going through things, and then I would let myself just dwell on the thoughts of whether it is just sadness or just depression or whatever it may be. I just let it dwell on myself, and I don't turn to God, and I think I can do everything by myself. And so once I realize that Jesus is every single thing that I need, and it doesn't matter how I bring it to him, and it doesn't matter how he responds to it, if I believe and I know that if I believe and I know that he's everything that I need, then there's no doubt in my mind that he's ministering to me, because I can present him a prayer request. I can present him a need that I have or a worry that I have, and me trusting him that he's gonna minister to me, whether it's through truth or through tears. That's through faith for me. And so I want to pray with us right now. Jesus, I pray that you may bless each and every one of us, and that you may help us to understand what it is that you're trying to show us right now, God. Maybe we're expecting for you to cry with us, but you in turn you want to lift us up. You want to pick us up, and you want to just tell us what the truth is, and just to help us go forward. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe we're just expecting for you just to send us a Bible verse that says, that's just encouragement or whatever it may be, but in fact you want us to just dwell in your presence and just to weep with you, God. And so I pray that you may give us the strength and the faith to continue on going to you for help, going to you for strength, and seeking and wanting more of you, God. And I pray all of this in your name, Jesus. Amen.